Thank you, Mayor Stevenson. If you would like, please stand and bow your head. Father, thank you for this opportunity to serve our city. And Lord, thank you for the citizens that join us tonight. Lord, I pray for our commission. I pray we make wise and good decisions for this community. Lord, I also pray for those in Ukraine and the depravity and struggles and violence they face. It's just so hard for us to imagine. Lord, guide us to you in all things, and I pray in my Savior's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. Please address the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Darrell. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, ma'am. Mayor Stevenson.
Here.
Commissioner Cochran.
Here.
Bojo.
Here.
Beeman.
Here.
Doss.
Here.
Quick.
Here.
Askew.
Here.
Collins.
Here.
McDaniel.
Here.
Thank you. And I trust that each of you had a chance to look at our minutes. If there were no additions or corrections, they will stand approved as common consent. And tonight we have 3 proclamations. And our first one is National Therapy Animal Day. And I'm going to call on Commissioner Beeman if she would come forward. And if we have anyone here that's with the therapy dogs, that you may come up front as well.
They're all excited. All righty. The City of Rome, Georgia proclamation. Whereas there are thousands of pet partners, therapy animals, teams serving in communities across the United States. Whereas pet partners have designated April the 30th as National Therapy Animal Day. And whereas pet partners, Compassionate Paws Therapy Animals teams in the City of Rome play an essential role in improving human health and well-being through the human-animal bond. And whereas a Pet Partners Therapy Animal teams make millions of visits per year in settings such as hospitals, nursing homes, schools, and hospitals. And whereas Pet Partners Compassionate Paws Therapy Animals teams interact with a variety of people in our community, including veterans, seniors, patients, employees, students facing literacy challenges, students who participate in de-stressor events, and those approaching the end of life. And whereas these exceptional therapy animals who partner with their human compassions bring comfort and healing to those in need. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the Rome City Commission, I, Sunday Stevenson, Mayor of the City of Rome, do hereby designate April the 30th, 2022 as National Therapy Animal Day in Rome, Georgia, and encourages our citizens to celebrate our therapy animals and their human handlers. Further, I publicly salute the service of therapy animals teams in our community and in communities across the nation. Give my hand and seal this 25th day of April in the year of the Lord, 2022. Now, y'all have to introduce your dog.
Hi, this is Louie. He's a 3-year-old standard poodle, and we go to hospitals, nursing homes, schools, and do community events.
This is Sparrow. She is a 9-year-old Rottweiler, and she is a Read With Me dog, and we also go to the colleges and different events and do de-stress events.
Hi, this is Chester, and he's 9.5 years old, and we are going to nursing home, colleges, and Read With Me with students.
Now, if you humans, if you don't mind, would you give us your name and let us know what you do? Thank you. You get the dogs together.
I'm Minako Fukui, and I've been part members for 1 year and a half.
I'm Kathy Verdell, and I have been a Pet Partner member since 2007.
I'm Misty Regas, and we have been a part of Compassionate Paws for, well, since February of 2020, so a little over 2 years.
Thank you.
No pressure, Mayor. Louis refuses to make eye
How old is he, Louis? 8 weeks.
Thank you all. It is pretty. Okay, we'll call on the next proclamation is our Georgia Cities Week, and I'll call on Mayor Pro Tem Mark Cochran. If you're here for that, Miss Christie, come on up, okay?
How are you? Good. Okay, City of Rome, Georgia Proclamation. Whereas city government is the closest to most citizens and the one with the most direct daily impact upon its residents, and whereas city government is administered for and by its citizens and is dependent upon public commitment to an understanding of its many responsibilities, and whereas city government officials and employees share the responsibility to pass along their understanding of public service and their benefits, and whereas Georgia Cities Week is a very important time to recognize the vital role played by city government in our lives, and whereas this week offers an important opportunity to spread the word to all the citizens of Georgia that they can shape and influence this branch of government which is closest to the people. I have to say whereas when we're and whereas the Georgia Municipal Association and its member cities have joined together to teach students and other citizens about municipal government through a variety of different projects and information, and whereas Georgia City Weeks offers an important opportunity to convey to all the citizens of Georgia that they can shape and influence government through their civic involvement. Now, therefore, the Rome City Commission does hereby proclaim the week of April 24th through the 30th, 2022 as Georgia Cities Week in Rome, and encourages all citizens, city government officials, and employees to do everything possible to ensure that this week is recognized and celebrated accordingly. Given my hand and seal this 25th day of April in the year of our Lord, 2022, Mayor Sunday Stevens.
I'm Christy Kent. I'm the Communications Director for the City of Rome, and I just want to encourage all of our citizens to take advantage of all these unique services that the city provides. We offer so many services that enhance the quality of life at a higher level than probably any other government, from free transportation to trails to parks to recreation to ecology to history. I'd like to encourage everybody to go to our website to learn more about them and to check them out this week. RomeGA.us is our website. And then also follow us on social media. We like to share all of the good news that's going on at the city. And I think we're on just about every social media channel there is. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We want to be where our citizens are, so we just encourage you to learn more about what's going on in your city government. Thanks.
Thank you, Christy, for all that you do for the city. We appreciate it. Okay, our next proclamation is National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Now, I'm going to call on Commissioner Askew, and if you're here for that, please come up.
You can bring it back. You don't have to sit.
It's not just lipstick.
This is a joint proclamation with Rome and Floyd County, and Floyd County will do their part at their next meeting. And it reads, whereas the term victim is more than just a label and has legal standing and protection that go along with it. Whereas Crime Victims' Rights Act, passed here in Georgia and at the federal level, guarantee victims the right to meaningfully participate in criminal justice process. And whereas victim service providers, advocates, law enforcement officers, attorneys, and other allied professionals can help survivors find their justice by enforcing these rights. Whereas National Crime Victims Rights Week, have to put the rights in there because provides an opportunity to recommit to ensuring that accessible, appropriate, and trauma-enforced services are offered to all victims of crime. And whereas the Rome City Commission and Floyd County Board of Commissioners are hereby dedicated to helping crime survivors find their justice by enforcing victims' rights, expanding access to services, and ensuring equity and inclusion for all. Now, therefore, I, on the behalf of Rome and Floyd County, do hereby proclaim the week of April 24th through the 30th of 2022 as National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Reaffirming Rome and Floyd County's commitment to creating a victim service and criminal justice response that assists all victims of crime during Crime Victims' Rights Week and throughout the year, and expressing our sincere gratitude and appreciation for those community members, victim service providers, and criminal justice professionals who are committed to improving our response to all victims of crime so that they may find relevant assistance, support, justice, and peace. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and have caused the seal of Rome and Floyd County, Georgia, to be affixed this 25th day of April, the year of our Lord, 2022. And that's signed by Mayor Sunday Stevenson and will be signed by the chairman of the county commission later.
Thank you very much. I won't take much time, but I'm Sandy Kuhneman. I'm the director of the Victim Witness Assistance Program. We have been present in Floyd County for 36 years, and we are dedicated to providing each victim the services afforded to them by the Georgia Crime Victims Bill of Rights. This bill affords victims the rights to notification of any scheduled court proceeding, the right to notification of the accused's release from custody, as well as allows the victim the right to express their opinion regarding any plea negotiations. We currently have 6 advocates that make up the Victim Witness Assistance Program, and together we make contact with victims after the arrest of the accused and work with them to navigate through the judicial process. We assist victims in applying for compensation through the Crime Victims Compensation Program, which helps to cover medical bills, lost wages, funeral expenses, and crime scene cleanup. We work diligently as part of the prosecution team to ensure that the victims are prepared for trial by having pretrial conferences where we advise each victim about what to expect on the day of trial. Every year, millions of Americans are affected by crime, and we appreciate you proclaiming April 24th through 30th as National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Thank you.
Sandy's introduced herself. She's our Director of Victim Witness, and this is Julie Tomlin. She's one of our victim advocates and handles victims' compensation. I think that's one of the most important jobs in our office because most people don't think about when there's a violent crime in your house, who's going to clean this up? And we have services and we also have funds that we can use to help people because that's a very traumatic event. I've seen these ladies go out at all hours of the night, talk to people who are all kinds of upset, from people who want to drop the case. I mean, you just never know what they're going to deal with. But we appreciate you having the proclamation again with the county. Thank y'all for your support, and thank you for supporting victims of crime.
Lee,
yes.
You need to introduce yourself as well.
I didn't think about that. I was too busy looking at Sparrow. My name is Lee Patterson. I'm the District Attorney of the Rome Judicial Circuit, and you're making me feel old because I started here as an intern in the summer of 1988 and got elected DA in '02 and have been serving since '03. So I've been here for a minute.
And secondly, the proclamation, if you would.
Do we need to give it back?
Yeah, we need to get that back
Go
so
take
we can
that.
get it to the county. So
Man, I feel robbed. I need some victim assistance.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, if you all came just for the proclamation and you'd like to leave, we'll give you a minute to leave right now before. But you're welcome to stay. We'd love to have you, but if you'd rather leave, you can.
That's Louis. What's this Louis? She is sweet. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thank you. Okay. Under guests tonight, we have certificates of appointment, and I'll call on Commissioner Collins.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Sir.
I want to ask, is this county not convenient? All right. How about David Collins? See? Well, you know what? They're not paying it for all right, here, let me tell you a little bit about where I'm standing before you. These are certificates of appointment. And Mr. Clerk's office here allows any of our citizens across this city to throw their name in the hat to be appointed to such committees as the Wrong Housing Authority, Fire Board, Tree Committee, Downtown Development, several. And let me share with you, while I'm out here, exactly you're so lucky as like these people here has been chosen after being vetted by this here commission. It says, greeted, be it known, J.R. Davis, which is a director at the Rome Boys and Girls Club, has been appointed to serve as a member of the Rome Florida Land Bank Authority for a term of April 11, 2022 to December 31st, 2024. This appointment is made because of your dedication to the cause of good government, your contribution to your community, and your willingness to serve your fellow man. These committee appointments are very important. JR, of course, is going to the land bank, which Harry, you here? Harry didn't come up, but he's a big member of that field that does really fine work with operating properties back onto the tax roll. Kelly Duncan is going to the Downtown Development Authority, and Dave Cross is going to the land bank as well. Mr. Clerk, would you like to add anything to where they can get the appointments and salary?
Well, you summed it up pretty well, but anyone interested in volunteering can contact my office and we'll get them a volunteer form, and then the committee on committee will review those forms whenever there's a vacancy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk, and thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Collins, and also our city clerk. Okay, moving right along. Resolutions. I'll call on Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. What we have before us tonight is a simple resolution that will require action by the commission. In essence, we've had a long-term lease agreement that we're a member of the GMA lease pool since about 2005. And what we're talking about tonight authorizes the city manager to execute supplemental lease agreements. And in this case, it is for a fire pumper truck in the amount of $634,794, and that will actually be stationed out at Fire Station 7 in Coosa. But we will need a motion and approval for this tonight.
So moved.
Okay, motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Have any discussion?
I would just say the importance of what we purchased in there, that pumper truck is was very evident. It's not long ago, my brother-in-law home caught a fire. And it was in a rural area where there was not a whole lot of water, and we just could not get enough water on that fire. And the great city of Cedartown, people drove all the way up here. Mr. Manager can tell you, we worked closely together with our sister cities to help us out get that fire out, even though it was a total loss by the time that happened. But now for Rome to have our own pumper truck or go along with what we already have, it's going to mean the world to the citizens in the city and county. So thank you, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, sir.
For your foresight with making this happen.
Any other discussions? Now, Mr. Clark, if you will.
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Cochran,
Yes.
Bojo,
Yes.
Beeman,
Yes.
Doss,
Yes.
Quick,
Yes.
Askew,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
McDaniel.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. First, we have several items on first reading, if you will, Mr. Clark.
We do have two items for first reading. The first is coming from the Alcohol Control Commission, and the recommendation is to amend our alcohol ordinance to require the city-issued alcohol sales permits for individuals that are working as security guards at alcohol establishments unless they are police officers. Okay? We already require those permits for people working inside. This would also make it applicable to security guards. The second ordinance amendment is regarding wastewater, and it will establish in our ordinance the local limits for discharges going into the public sewers. We do have both of these items scheduled for second reading at our next meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Clark. We have nothing on second reading, nothing continued on first reading. We have several public hearings tonight. If we will, we'll start with item A.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. The first thing on our list of items for tonight is a text amendment to the ULDC. It essentially allows or takes the Planning Commission out of the major subdivision requirement and allows that to be done administratively by engineering and planning staff. We've always done it somewhat backwards, or actually very backwards. Most jurisdictions, they do that on the front end. That's the last thing we do after someone's already probably spent millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands to put in curb and gutter, sewer. At that point, if we were to turn down the subdivision request after they've put in roads and all the other infrastructure, it could be very problematic for us. So we would ask that that amendment be passed. It is a joint amendment with the city and county.
Thank you. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open. Do we have anyone here to speak in favor of? Do we have anyone here to speak in opposition of? Okay, none being. I will declare the public hearing closed. This time, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and I have a second. Do you have any discussion? No discussion, Mr. Clark, if you will call the roll.
Commissioner Cochran,
Yes.
Bojo,
Yes.
Beeman,
Yes.
Doss,
Yes.
Quick,
Yes.
Askew,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
McDaniel.
Yes.
Thank you. Item B.
Yes, ma'am. The next item is a annexation request. It's file A22-04-01. The applicant parcel is outlined in red. I believe it's on your screen. This is the bowling alley and a par 3 golf course out in West Rome. It's approximately 16.3 acres, currently zoned community commercial. There is no proposal to change the use or the zoning. We have verified with engineering that it is eligible to annex. And this does come with a recommendation of approval from staff as well as a unanimous approval from the Planning Commission.
Okay, thank you. I will declare this public hearing open. Do I have anyone here to speak in favor of? Do I have anyone here to speak in opposition of? Seeing none, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Okay, at this time I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion, have a second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? No discussion. Mr. Clerk, if you will, call the roll.
Commissioner Cochran,
Yes.
Bojo,
Yes.
Beeman,
Yes.
Doss,
Yes.
Quick,
Yes.
Askew,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
McDaniel.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to item C.
Yes, ma'am. The next item is Z22-01-01. This is a rezoning request. The applicant parcels are outlined in red. They are asking to rezone to multifamily residential from a mix of suburban residential and community commercial. The applicant parcels are at the corner of Highway 411 and the bypass. Let me find my mouse. The proposal is to build a residential development. It will be a mix of apartments and townhouses. I believe the total will be 1,231. And, excuse me. We have spoken to the developer and requested that the front corner there be left as a commercial center or a commercial node. They have agreed to that, and we appreciate it. There is some floodplain on the lower part of the property, but this site has a tremendous amount of topography to it. They will be developing well above it. You have the application. Let's zoom out.
Bryce, your feed is not coming through, so I always have to scroll from my.
That's
seat,
fine.
so-
If you want to, go right ahead. These are the applicant parcels. Sorry for those of y'all in the audience. This is the current zoning map for those areas. The staff report, application, and there's a tremendous amount of supporting documentation. As you heard earlier, this is considered a DRI, which we did submit to the Regional Commission. For those of you in the audience, that's a development of regional impact. The staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Staff recommends approval on the following conditions: that the point of ingress and egress closest to the Walmart be a left turn exit only, sending traffic back towards the red light at Highway 411 in Collier Springs. That's as opposed to going up Collier Springs Road. And that the second point of ingress, located further up Collier Springs Road, be a one-way point of ingress only. If you notice on the site plan, there's a tremendous amount of townhouses up further up the hill onto Collier Springs. That was a concern of ours. This does come with that recommendation of approval with conditions. Planning Commission also recommended approval 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I declare this public hearing open. Do I have anyone here to speak in favor of?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do I have anyone here to speak in opposition of? Okay. You, each side will have 10 minutes, and
Okay.
you may want to save a little time for rebuttal if needed, so, but you state your name and your address and then go ahead.
My name is Norman White. I live at 1192 Longcourt Drive in Atlanta. I'm the managing partner of Fall Leaf Residential, who will be the developer of this project. And the purpose of this project is to develop an affordable workforce, housing development. We have set the prices on these units for the 20-foot townhouses at $190,000, the 24-foot townhomes at $210,000, and the 40-foot townhomes at $230,000. It's going to, the community will be built in 5 phases. It'll take 6 to 7 years to build it out. The density is 4.25 units to the acre. The open space meets 60%. During the first 12 months, we anticipate, and actually it won't be the first 12 months, first 18 months, because we have to develop the project before we can start delivering units. We'll deliver around 200 households. We're also requesting that the MR zoning will allow us the flexibility in the distribution of the proposed townhomes as long as the totals do not exceed 1,231 units. And the reason for that is that's a long period of time and market conditions can change. I'll relinquish my time. Thank you.
I'm Jimmy Byers, 19 Rock Ridge Road, Rome, Georgia. I represent the property owners on this, and as you know that everybody's been trying to fill the need of workforce housing. They're doing a great job with that. The owners of the property are in full support of it. It's delivering a product to Rome which we haven't had before in the price range that I think will help with workforce development. So that's all I got.
Thank you. Anyone else to speak in favor of? Okay, those speaking in opposition, you also have up to 10 minutes. State your name and your address.
Thank you. My name is Grant Miller, county resident at 2653 Cowrie Springs Road, Rome, Georgia. I'm also the current owner of Cowrie Springs Country Club. I'm here to speak on behalf of the residents as well for the area. And, well, I've been in discussions with the county over the better part of a decade in regards to the dangers of Cowrie Springs Road. So being that now it's become an access road to Rome, the traffic's already increased since 2000 due to Walmart. Residents are constantly concerned by that traffic. And I approached the county, about looking at options to slow down traffic, but because of it being an access, they couldn't do that and better control it. They can't put any measures in place like speed bumps and those types of measures because of emergency vehicles and all these types of concerns. And I know that they're looking, and I thank you all for all, discussing this and looking at options to make it safer for our roadway to be able to encourage this development. I'm not against us finding housing options, but, originally this road was a dirt road, like back in the 40s, and I've got pictures of it, I've seen it, and it was widened in such a way to accommodate two-lane traffic over the decades, and not much has been done to it in the form of paving or anything done to this roadway. You have areas that need guardrails along Cowrie Springs Road and more, and you say that you're going to direct traffic back towards the traffic light. Well, if you're ever trying to make a left-hand turn, and you have all this traffic already on the roadway that's going to be blocking you to be turning out, what you're going to do anyway, you're going to turn right. So regardless of whatever measures you put in place, this roadway is just not very accommodating for this type of huge development. Originally, all this land was part of the county, and they were zoned in such a way for a certain amount of acreage per home and all that. I wish, honestly, it would go back to that point. Or maybe they could go back to being a county property and just spread it all out and make it and do kind of what, what's already there in the essence of what's there. But adding these large number of developments to that part of Cowrie Springs Road, I just don't see it as being safe for the residents that are already there. The infrastructure I don't think is going to accommodate it. And I'll speak more when we move on to the next part. I think someone else would like to speak in regards to this as well. But I ask you all to please vote no. These residents there, they've lived there, some of them, better part of their lives. Their whole entire lives on this roadway. And of course, Walmart was a great addition, but now it's made Cowrie Springs Road more than what the road was intended for. It's meant to be a residential access road for you to go to your home on. Now it's an access road you take down to Rome. So we need to do more of this roadway, and the county maintains most of it. So it's great that the city's growing and we're annexing land and looking to build housing. I just don't see it being good for the people that are already there. So I appreciate y'all listening to me. Thank you very much.
You have 7 minutes.
Thank you. I would like
If
to.
you would first please state your name and tell
Oh, sure. Brad Barnes. I'm a resident of the county at 10 Oregon Drive out in Armurchie. And I'm also a candidate for State House here in Rome, Georgia. I'd like to ask the commission to kind of, instead of a more kind of a hyper-local view of the roadways and access, to maybe think about the long term. What do we want to be as a community, and what kind of community, are we now? Where we have people that have been here 50, 100 years in terms of family life. Chances are pretty much everyone knows everyone. We've kind of seen what unlimited cancerous sprawl has done to every one of the cities that used to be small, livable cities from here to Atlanta. Essentially like lighting a fire in the middle of a dry grass field and watching it burn out in a circle. That sprawl has now reached our doorstep. And, it's made all of those communities quite unlivable. They've gone from high trust areas where you can leave your door unlocked to, sprawling crime, sitting in traffic day in and day out. And, he did have, the previous speaker did have something important to say as far as what is good for the residents that are here, that have spent the past almost 170 years building this community into what it is and having the culture that it has and the social cohesion that it has, and what's good for them versus what's good for a very small handful of people to line their pockets in a quick buck in the middle of a housing boom. And we're in the middle of a housing bubble like 2008. A ton of money is flowing into these real estate developments, and it's kind of a Wild West thing because the Federal Reserve has a insane interest rate at this point. And so it's not sustainable, and I don't think we should sacrifice our community to these short-term profits. I mean, the developments that are being talked about today would be a permanent 5 to 10% jump in the population of the county. And every single roadway, every single amount of infrastructure we have, schools, hospitals, everything will be stressed and put to the max by those changes. And we'll all suffer the consequences and costs, and only a very few amount of people will actually profit. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shami Kumar. I live at 928 Turner Chapel Road, Rome, Georgia. I'm here to speak on manageable growth. I think Rome is an idyllic community for families, and I drive Collier Springs Road. I've driven it for 22 years. And I make a turn onto it in the mornings, and if somebody doesn't take you out at Walmart, coming out of Walmart, then you have to hope that the deer don't get you or the school bus doesn't get you. So I understand there's a housing shortage in Rome, Georgia, but I think Rome can address this in an economic way, in an infrastructure way, in an environmental way, and obtain the best lifestyle Rome, Georgia is hoping to maintain and grow. So today I'm here to talk about the safety of the people who drive Collier Springs Road and the people who walk Collier Springs Road. I don't know if they're represented here today, but I see those people every morning. In the wintertime, it's dark, and they're walking up to Walmart. There are no sidewalks. There are no curbs. There are nothing that says slow down. I see the kids who are waiting for the school bus in the morning in the pitch dark on that curvy, crazy road. Does it have to be 1,200 units? That you have to decide. Does it have to be made in such haste that this community doesn't think about sidewalks, better ways to straighten out that road? Maybe it can happen, maybe it can't happen. I think there's a better way for this community to address these changes that are coming up in such a speedy manner. To address growth, does the growth have to be 1,200 units on one side of Collier Springs Road, and on the other side of Collier Springs Road, Dodd Boulevard, we're talking about 400 units or 300 and some odd units. Let's take a moment and consider what we're looking to do in a small little area. And is there a better way to do it?
Thank you. Can I
respond?
Yes.
Let me show
How much time do you have?
Yeah, we anticipated.
You have
that-
8 minutes, sir.
I'm sorry, how long have I got?
8 minutes.
It's not going to take that long. We anticipated the issue of traffic on Collier Road. That's why the primary entrances will be through this commercial property. This comes out. Can you see it?
So we can all see it?
Can you see it? So what we have done is designed the project so that the primary entrance is on 411 and then over to the bypass. That's and because of the Collier Road traffic. And I think that solves the problem. So, also the other thing that we need to take in consideration is what kind of tax this is going to bring into the city. It's going to bring a lot of revenue into the city. Also, we're not looking to do it all at once. We're looking to do it slowly so that we won't tax services. That's why it's a 5 to 6 year project. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. This time I will declare the public hearing closed. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second. Have a motion and a second.
Madam Mayor, I just want to clarify that with the conditions that were recommended by the planning, that were approved by the planning department, or is it without the conditions?
Could we enter the conditions again?
Yes.
Absolutely. The conditions are that the point of ingress and egress closest to the Walmart on Callier Springs Road be a left turn exit only, sending traffic back towards the red light at Highway 411 and Callier Springs Road. And the second is that the second point of ingress located further up Callier Springs Road be a one-way point of ingress only, which means they cannot exit onto Callier Springs Road from there.
Okay, thank you.
That would include those recommendations.
A second. Okay, so with the recommendations, I have a motion and a second. Okay, any discussion?
I would just say to the planning commission, Bryce, you and Tags, I'm appreciative of the fact that you guys are taking time out. Was those recommendations put in by yourself and the director over there?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Because it seems as though every time now we're getting these development coming to Rome, that our streets and roads are coming up a great number. So it's greatly appreciated that you guys are taking time out to do just what the young lady's talking about, to make sure that they're protecting as much as they possibly can the existing roads and the existing neighborhood. I did hear one thought that she had about sidewalks on roads such as Callier Spring. Is that limited to just the area where the development is at right now, right?
I'm sorry, are you asking if they're going to put in sidewalks?
No, I'm saying the sidewalk is not having anything to do with the existing roads. This is just where the development is at, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
And when they mention additional lighting as far as safety, is there any plans to put additional lighting in that area?
Are you referring to traffic lighting?
Just to light up because the roads are curving and winding.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we wanted to push it back to the red light right there next to the entrance at Walmart. We wanted to keep it as far off of Callier Springs Road as possible because Highway 411 is lit. Callier Springs, I don't know off the top of my head.
Callier Springs Road.
Yes, sir.
How much of Callier Springs Road is operated by the city?
I do not know that off the top of my head, but I believe Joe has the map, which will show the city boundaries or city limits.
We're trying to get the computer to work so that he can put that on.
It meanders through there. It's by no means a straight or geometric shape. That's the zoning. There may not be.
So I would tell you from the intersection, it's about 1,700 feet.
That's all?
Yes, sir.
That's all the cities?
That's correct.
1,700 feet?
Roughly.
Okay, do I have any other discussion?
Just like to say that some of the, your concerns are valid in terms of the safety of streets. We seem to be in a situation, it looks like it's going to be repeatedly, where, for lack of better terms, we're splitting the baby with the county. So the county owns either a smaller portion or a larger portion of the road, and the city owns a portion of it too. And not pointing fingers at anybody, but it's really easy to say, oh, well, the city should do this, and it's not actually their responsibility, and the county should do this, and it's not actually their responsibility. So I would say to my fellow commissioners, it's incumbent upon us, along with management, to sit down with the county and really work through these things, because Julia Road, as everybody knows, is another one. And I said it then, I'll say it again. On this one, we can't expect growth, this large a growth, and we need the growth. I disagree with the people who think that we don't need the growth. I think we desperately need it. What we also need, though, is an infrastructure to back it up. So, you can move as many people as you want to, going 80 miles an hour through Atlanta, as long as the infrastructure will handle. So I think it's incumbent on the city and the county to work together, incumbent on the commissioners to work together, incumbent on management to help us to solve a lot of these issues. Because when it gets like this right here and you're splitting the baby so many times, it's not a city issue or a county issue, it's an us issue. And we have to fix it, because the last thing we want to do is put anybody in danger. So, but I desperately think we need the growth. I think we need the housing. So, thank you.
Thank you. No, we can't, it's, the public is closed, I'm sorry. Okay, Commissioner Dawes.
Whether the growth occurs or not, that road needs to be improved. And if you wanted to drive to East Rome, you can turn on Collier Springs and there's not a light all the way to East Rome. So if you're trying to avoid the lights and heavy traffic, it's a back way. So we definitely need sidewalks, we need better lighting, and it needs to happen.
Madam Mayor, I think that ain't been that long ago, Commissioner McDaniel started something when we needed to put out the word that we needed housing here. But I think the pro temp and his words should really resonate. We have the chairman of the Development Authority sitting here, and I know he's hearing Mr. Byers back there, Jimmy, and I know Miss Mrs. is listening as well as running that department for the city and the county. And then you got the chair sitting back there, the vice chair of the county, Commissioner Waters back there, and yourself and the mayor. So I think the cry out to you guys is that with the growth that we experience, and I think I heard Commissioner McDaniel say we could get as many 4,000 rooftops.
I think, and we had this conversation with Bryce earlier in the meeting, I think 4,000 may be a conservative number. But if I could say, just those of us that sit on the city commission, we've been very much involved in making efforts to bring jobs into the community. Growth is important. Between 2000 and 2010, we grew by less than 2%. 2010 to 2020, we grew by 2.4%. And where we're growing is in senior citizens and public housing. 40% of the students enrolled at Rome High School live in public housing. The people that live in the city that own property are supporting that 40%. When we made the change and our Rome Floyd Development Authority assumed the responsibility for industrial recruitment, we had a housing summit. During that summit, we found out that we have 19,000 people who work in this community, but they live outside the community. And finding workers right now is critical. Missy Kendrick is here. She does our industrial recruitment. One of the things that she has told us, and I think some of us knew, we don't have any land, we don't have we didn't have land, and we didn't have spec buildings, and we were not enticing people to come here and build, so we put together a housing committee, and we kept talking about it, and all of a sudden a lot of people want to build houses here, which I think is a good thing. And we now have 2 companies that are building spec buildings here, and we're buying industrial property. We've got more industrial property than we've had in a long time, thanks to the efforts of the Rome, Florida Development Authority, the city, and the county. So this is a part of a long process. A lot of this growth is going to come to us out of Atlanta, metropolitan, that area down there, whether we want it or not. It's going to come. It's happening in Bartow County. I do real estate in Gordon County. It's happening in Gordon County. So as long as we have a professional developer and they go through our Rome Floyd Planning Commission, which is a joint commission, if our school superintendent will stand up and say, as he did, we can accommodate this growth, I think it's incumbent upon us as leaders to approve the projects, but also focus on the infrastructure. That burden is on us, and our city manager has heard it. We've got to improve our infrastructure, and we've got to do it in partnership with the county. And so shame on us if we don't do that, but also shame on us if we don't approve these projects when they come to us. That's the way I look at it. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
And the reason I make mention of the situation that was created by that redevelopment committee is to share with Mr. Byers and Missy and Ms. Waters the importance of what we're going through to make absolutely certain we owe that, no different than what you just heard, to these here citizens to be smart with our growth, whether we want this growth or not is here now. So we got to be smart and get it done, and that's why I started out by telling you in our Crataegus that, and Mr. Manager, that we appreciate the job you guys are doing as far as looking out for us. And without you guys doing the job that you're doing, sometimes it's left on us to, it's not our job, but it's our job to make absolutely certain that this get done right. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Do I have anything else from the commission?
I wanted to share also that the Rome, from my past experience from Rome City Schools, they can't handle the growth. That has been in the plans of growth within our communities. And we want our college students and our students who graduate from high school to have a place to live, an affordable place to live while we're growing. But at the same time, I respect the fact that you said you were going to do it in phases, like so many phases, and the growth will take place.
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. We're going to do it in 5 to 6 phases.
In phases?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
within that, the phases, how many houses will be like in the first phase?
The probably average, the for sale stuff is 981 units. That will be 5 probably, with the 6th phase being the apartments. So, which would be a 250 unit deal, which we think will probably occur maybe the 3rd year out.
Thank you. And in that need, I'm sure you will be very supportive of whatever security, safety problem, safety issues that we have that you may come.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So I do support that too, because we need the growth.
Thank you.
Anything else from the commissioners? And let me say this before we move, before I call for the vote. Okay, we're talking about growth. The opposite of growth is death. So if we don't grow, then our city will die. But it's up to us to make sure that everything is in place and we're ready for it. And then we talk about change. You don't want to see things change. Well, from 140 years ago. Honey, if there were no changes, I wouldn't be sitting where I'm sitting today. So, you know, we all are creatures of habit. We don't like to see change, but I welcome change. We need change. And probably where many of you are living today, there were people before you didn't want to see something coming to where you're living now. So we all, whether we we acknowledge it or not, we all are products of change. So change is not always a bad thing, but we just have to make sure that we have things in place for our change. With that, I'm going to go on. Mr. Clark, if you would call the roll, please.
Ma'am. Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Bojo?
Yes.
Beeman?
Yes.
Doss?
Yes.
Quick?
Yes.
Askew?
Yes.
Collins?
Yes.
McDaniel?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Let's pass. Okay, next item.
The next request is file Z22-03-05. This is a request to rezone from community commercial to multifamily residential for the property located at 0 Dodd Boulevard. This is a 34-acre site outlined in red. It's right behind the dealerships along Highway 411. It also has frontage on Dodd Boulevard. The property is, or the multiple parcels are 34 acres. The proposal is 385 units of townhouses and apartments. I have here in my notes that they will range from $180,000 to $250,000. Joe, scroll through here. The property does not have the visibility from Highway 411 that most commercial developments would expect. It also sits a little lower in topography, which makes it even tougher to see behind the hotels and the dealership. This does come with a recommendation of approval with limitations from the planning staff. The limitations being, staff recommends approval on the condition that the exit onto Dodd Boulevard be constructed to be a left turn only, once again, thus directing traffic back towards Highway 411 and away from Callier Springs Road, or that Dodd Boulevard be an entrance only. This does come with a recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission of 7-0.
Okay, thank you. I'll declare the public hearing open. Do we have anyone here to speak in favor of? Okay, sir. You'll have just a minute. You'll have 10 minutes, and when we start, I'll need you to give us your name.
Yes, ma'am.
And your address. Do we have anyone here to speak in opposition of? Okay, just a minute. Again, you will have 10 minutes as well. Same thing. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Darrell Edwards, 272 J. Slagle Road, Calhoun, Georgia. This is a development that we had originally started this to be a mixed use between townhomes and storage facility. But by recommendation by the Planning Commission, they had asked us to better utilize the utilities and infrastructure that was in place by the city already, which being sewer and water at that location. So basically what we did with this, we turned around and redeveloped it into apartment and a townhome development, totaling 395 units, 123 townhomes and approximately 272 apartments. It's on 33.98 acres. It's going to be a price range of $175 to $250, as Bryce stated. Constructed in probably 3 phases, and if I had to guess, it'll be around 120 units per year over the next 3 years, and probably it'll be a 4-year project by the time we get to development, because this takes a lot of work on that site. It's got a lot of terrain and issues to take it down to scale. The proposed exits and entrances are on Dodd Boulevard and Hobbs. Hobbs being the main way in and out back to 411, and again with a left turn out onto Dodd Avenue going up to the red light at 411. Second proposed, of course, was on Dodd Boulevard. That's all I have.
Anyone else to speak in favor? Okay, if you're speaking in opposition of, you may go to the podium and give us your name and your address, please.
It's on my computer, but apparently the screen's not working to show it.
Okay. My name's John Hedrick. I'm at 13 Breckenridge Road, Rome, Georgia, 30161. I'm also with the Forge store. And looking at Callier Springs Road and the vicinity of Dodd Boulevard, we made some good comments, and I'm all about growth. We're in a retail business. I feel like we need that. And we need it in specific areas. And with this big development, then we're putting another development. We had a picture, but the infrastructure is a big concern of mine, because in my parking lot, I've talked to Mr. Rich, I've talked to Mr. Collins, and over the last 12 or 15 years, the answer I keep getting from the city, which is falling in as like you could park a car in it, that we don't have the money to support fixing a pipe that has collapsed underground. And to the point that my parking lot is eroding from this pipe. And now we're going to stick another development right into the area, where this is already occurring, and we say we can't afford to fix it. It's been what I've been told, and not by Mr. Collins or Mr. Rich, but from other folks I've spoke with. At the end of the street, we have Montessori School of Rome, which is 176 students along with the staff, which when we say we're going to direct this traffic opposite of where it's going now, Well, there's only so many ways you can go. You can go that way to Carrier Springs, you can go that way to 411. So I would ask to take the infrastructure into place. We're in the retail business and I absolutely want the city growth. But if we've got problems now that we can't address, and they've been going on 12 to 15 years, and now we're looking at job growth and residential growth and all these other things, I'm all for it. But I'm asking the commission to please look at where you're putting it, and we're cramming all this development into one small area that really doesn't have the roadway, the infrastructure, stormwater drainage, or anything to support it. Thank you.
So here I am again. My name is Shami Kumar. I live at 928 Turner Chapel Road. I am the headmistress of the Montessori School of Rome, and 42 years ago, my parents started that school here. And at that time, that road was just a little country road. Since then, that road has grown, and so has the community. Commissioners, please don't take my presence here to mean I do not believe in growth. I think our community is a viable community, full of potential, and has lots of room to grow. And I think growth is very important. Growth is very important to any private or public business. Public school, private school, we all thrive on growth. But sustainable growth in any community is what makes a community a community. At the end of the day, what I would like to see is my neighbors, which is a low-income housing community next door, or I might not have that correctly, but I see those kids. They don't have a basketball court. They come to my basketball court. You know, they come over and tap on our windows at the end of the day because they have nowhere to go. They're going out on a street if they're going off their property. It would be really nice to have sidewalks. It would be really nice for us not to flood 2 or 3 times a year because we're the lowland. We are the lowest spot on all of Dodd Boulevard. Everything on top of me from 411 comes down to us. Fortunately, we've had great relationships with Darren and Daryl. We contacted them when we heard this project was going to go forward and said, come on, let's talk. And we were able to communicate, and we were able to talk about safety of children. Safety is a big issue in our community. In our little neighborhood, safety is a big issue. We have broken windows, we have gunshots, we have people being shot, people being hurt. But we still are peaceful neighbors within our community. And I hope to extend the same thing to our future neighbors, and I hope this future growth happens, but it has to, I hope, happen within limitations of what can it sustain. And where can we, our little community is got tons of land. Does it all have to be built in one little spot? And who decided this was the ideal spot? Well, I think we're an ideal spot, but I mean, come on. So having said that, I would like to say Darren and Daryl did come meet with us. We talked about a buffer for safety. We talked about maintaining a tree line. We were able to communicate and talk about the needs of what they need, what we need. But what I'm hearing is what you guys are saying to them, or the city of Rome is saying to them and saying, no, we need this many rooftops. There's got to be a way to manage growth. Yes, we do want growth. We want growth in our street, which is a county and city street, Dodd is. We want sidewalks for our neighbors so they can safely walk to Walmart or safely walk without cutting through our property, which we've had to fence to the greater extent. We want their kids to be able to safely catch the bus, and we want to not die on the curb on Dodd Boulevard. You're about to ask a development to put an egress onto within 50 to 75 feet of a big hook. Each morning, I hear, not each morning, several times a year, I hear a parent say, the school bus almost ran us over, ran us off the road. Well, yeah, the school bus is driven by school bus drivers, and they're trying to make that curb happen going to the county schools or the city schools. Please, we have a community. We can grow. We can grow with partners. We can talk amongst ourselves and make arrangements. But we need our city and our county to step up and do the right thing so we can all grow together. Handle the water, handle the traffic, handle the crime. Thank you.
You have 3 minutes left.
Okay, thank you. So infrastructure. We have aging infrastructure. I mean, it's a very large problem, especially with this leg of the sewer line. I'm going to echo that I'm not against development, but I've worked for a better part of many, many years with city water and sewer. They have a battle with that sewer, that particular leg, especially every single storm. So my property is at the lowest point along that leg. I had actually a slide up there I was going to show y'all, but the sewer line backs all the way down Rockmart Highway and goes along Saddle Mountain. So before all these current codes, they tied in their drainage into our sewers. And so there's no controlling that. There's no going back 50, 60 years necessarily easily to go undo that. So at the lowest point, we have to deal with it when any inclement storm. We have to deal with possibly non-working facilities, this and that. And to help combat that, I've allowed at the back corner of our property along the Etowah River, the water and sewer to leave a manhole open. And it's to relieve the storm water, so then not necessarily sewage will go back into like the apartments across the street and all of those types of. So there's a big issue with water going into those lines. Like it's great that there's going to be retention ponds and all this for these proposed developments. We need the housing, and they're going to maintain their part. But even though they're hooking into broken infrastructure that need to be replaced, lines that have caved in, like at the Ford dealership. I am dreading the day when the line collapses in the middle of my parking lot under a club member's car. Like until recently, I had to go against the wishes of water and sewer, because when Angela would come to the golf course, she had to walk through a parking lot littered with condoms, toilet paper, and all that, because our push-up, we have a clean-outs, like in regards to our sewer. It would push up and it would put all this in our parking lot going into our Springfield Lake, which goes into the Etowah River. Like the EPD, I talk to them regularly in regards to these issues. Well, we locked that down so it won't go in a parking lot, so that all the sewage and stormwater has to go somewhere during the storm. Of course, some of it goes out the manhole that we've left unlocked at the back of the property with the help of water and sewer. But for everyone else, it's possible, because we don't get every comment from water and sewer, that it's going into those apartments across the street, causing some of their toilets not to flush at times and more. Because when that line fills with that storm water, whatever goes into it might not necessarily, so it pushes against the flappers of these developments, which causes all that to build up, and potentially, depending on whatever's going on, it can go back, be pushed back into people's homes, into people's businesses, into people's apartments, because it's happened to us, and we've been fighting it, and we're at the lowest point. So it has to be happening along Dodd Boulevard in some form or fashion. So anyway, I just want to make those comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Do you have any rebuttal?
Yes, ma'am. My name's Darren Harden. I'm business partner of Daryl Edwards. My address is 230 Old Highway 41, Northwest, Adairsville, 30103. I just want to take an opportunity and see if you guys had any questions, but I also wanted to say I appreciate Ms. Kumar's comments. I haven't met Grant until today in here, but I understand what they're saying. When we develop a piece of property, we will design it to accommodate everything that we can and more to try to help their situations out. I've spoken with individuals with the sewer department, and I believe there's plans in the works right now for some improvements which will benefit Grant, I believe, down the road. Again, we're going to focus our attention on bringing traffic in and out off of 411. That's where we want the traffic to be. It's an infill situation where we're surrounded completely by buildings, so it's kind of unique in that sense. But we'll build a wonderful development inside of that area, and continue to be a good neighbor not only to the Montessori and Grant, but also partnering with the city. So if you guys have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll declare the public hearing closed. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve
I have a motion.
with the stipulations that have been stated.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Have anybody on my right, Commissioner?
Just want to ask Bryce, which is it, the restrictions that you're talking about putting in place? Is it egress or is it the left turn?
There are two options there that we provided.
Right. So, do we adopt both of them, or you talking about one or the other? I thought I heard you say either or.
We did. We left it open-ended.
Which is it?
Are you asking me?
No, that's
No, with the stipulations, both stipulations.
both stipulations?
Yes.
So that would be,
Well,
Doug
the-
Boulevard
well-
would only be an ingress?
Well, there were two opportunities coming in. There were two different entrances stated, and both directed traffic to 401.
They'll have to do one or the other. Both of them are not
That's what I
possible
thought.
simultaneously.
Oh, okay.
So, what you guys recommending?
A left turn would put them directly into the path coming through where the parents are coming down that road with 18 months to, teenagers.
So there has to at least be an entrance on Dodd, and that's per the fire marshal. They want to be able to get in there as quickly as possible, so they want multiple options. They're usually not in that big a hurry to leave, though. I mean, once the fire's out,
So, which is it?
my personal preference would be entrance only, if you're asking me that.
Then that would be whatever the best recommendation is.
So we're asking that Dodd Boulevard be only an entrance and not an exit?
Yes, sir.
Is that acceptable to the owners?
Gentlemen?
I would think so. I would also, instead of making the recommendation now, I personally believe that you should allow your road department and people to have some say-so in that instead of us making those recommendations.
Tell me that again.
I believe we should have your department heads, your road department.
You looking at them.
Darren, if you will go back to the microphone and say that, I don't think everybody heard what you said.
Sir, I was saying, I believe you should have your road departments, both city and county, potentially talk about what is the best option for this. We're open to having whichever's best for the city and county.
And again, I say you looking at them.
Well, I don't believe, Bryce, are you the road department head?
I'm not.
No, I don't believe so, sir.
Well, I'm confused, Mr. Manager. Sam, I say I'm confused. Or do we have the best advice before us?
To put this into perspective, the property is currently zoned commercial, so by right, someone could go in there and put in a shopping center, which could, by right, have an entrance and exit onto Dodd. Our goal was to limit that, or to mitigate that potential impact. Now, it's not likely that somebody would develop a shopping center there, but it's technically allowed. So.
Again, I speak for the women and the children and strollers from that housing project walking down that road.
I think that's something, if Bryce, am I correct, has our street department, has anybody even looked at that from our department?
Public Works has reviewed it.
Public Works?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what was Public Works' recommendation? Did they have a recommendation, or did they say?
They had no comment on what we recommended. They went with it. Normally, if they've got an issue with it, they let us know, but they had no. Public Works, Brian Roberts, Aaron, engineering, nobody had any
So, did Public Works, they did not say that it would not be a good idea to do an entrance only on Dodd Boulevard?
They were not opposed to it, or they expressed no opposition.
I would make my recommendation that we have an entrance only on Dodd Boulevard.
Fair enough. Yes, sir.
And that was his motion. Now, who made the second?
I'll second.
You second that with that? Okay. With that? Okay. Do I have any discussion from the commissioners on my left?
Can I just, I hate to beat the same drum over and over, but, 2 years ago when we decided to start over on the land development code, part of the reason we didn't have any growth for 20 years because it was kind of the philosophy of development at the time for larger municipalities that were so overwhelmed with growth that they shoved all infrastructure costs onto the developers. Rome took that approach also, although it was probably unwittingly more than on purpose. And so in a small community like Rome, what that does is it kills the community, it kills all the growth because the developers can't afford to build the infrastructure to go along with the development because the return on investment just isn't there. And so I would just say that with all this growth happening, I think it's fantastic. Along with that, I would really encourage the commission to not repeat a mistake of the past. Don't assume that somebody else is going to do the infrastructure. We need to carry that burden. If we don't carry the burden, we're not going to get the growth, or if we do get the growth and we don't carry the burden, then it's going to be twice the burden that it was before. And yeah, it's going to cost us money, and it's going to be a pain. But we can't be responsible unless we do that. So I hear what you're saying, and believe me, from the bottom of my heart, every time I drive down Shorter Avenue and I see somebody in a stroller holding a toddler, so just know that there have been discussions about that citywide for a while now, and I think we're slowly making some progress. But just to reiterate, beat the same drum over and over. If we want to allow this amount of growth, which I think we absolutely need, then we have to be able to back it up with infrastructure that is safe and secure and provides for the best welfare of the citizens of Rome.
To the Mayor Pro Tem's point, these two developments that we're discussing tonight, it's been at least 6 or 8 months since somebody brought me a housing development that was less than $250,000 or $270,000. They're just about unheard of nowadays. I couldn't tell you the last time somebody came in and wanted to talk about something that was under $200,000. So,
Madam Mayor, could we ask Mr. Manager if you would share with us what we talked about in caucus as far as the improvement that's on the drawing board and about to happen down Dodd Boulevard, please?
Sure. So what we discussed downstairs was the large storm drain project, and I think that's what was referred to earlier. That goes back a number of years, but within City Capital this year, we've got a $770,000 line item, and so the survey is underway now, and that project will be let out for bid because we want to endeavor to do that in-house, but that should get started this year. So I can indeed answer that, and I think as was referenced earlier, there are some sewer improvements. There's some that have already been underway that should greatly improve the storm, not just the stormwater, but the wastewater out there in this area.
I just wanted to assure John that I wasn't sitting on my hands, that we was addressing your problem, and it's coming so.
I'm off the grid, I just want to see go.
That road is a river, right?
It's awful.
It's a river.
I don't want to say
We have one in our driveway right now.
And I want to assure you guys that while all the development right now is on the east side of town, 3 of us represent the west side of town. And I think Commissioner Bojo Cochran and the mayor represent the north side of town. We want development to be equal, and we want it to be managed in a way in such that growth is happening all over Rome, not just in that particular area. It's just that right now, that's the area that's being developed. We do have some development plans for West Rome, over on Fifth Avenue and Martha Berry. So we're not just trying to develop that area, we're trying to make sure that Rome is growing in a managed way such that it's done on all sides of town. But understand too that part of the problem is when you're coming into Rome, the first part of town you see from 411 is East Rome. So that's where everybody's looking to develop right now. Surely that's going to happen on the west side of town. We're going to be pushing for that as well. And on the north side, so that people, I mean, it's equally distributed. We don't want to just grow the east side of town.
Yeah, the whole population density is going to be, but within the West Square Mile, it's going to pop up in 5 years.
And if you go back about 40, 50 years, and what you'll find out is that the growth was on the west side of town because that's where all of the industry was. Yeah, but that's because of the growth. I mean, that's where all the industry was located, on the west side of town, and so we're looking at making sure that
We're
growth.
both on the same side, we just need to.
Right. We're going to work with you to make sure that right now it seems overwhelming because it's growing really quickly, but we're wanting to do that. I mean, we don't want to grow outrageously quick, but we want to do it on all sides of town. We want growth on all sides of town.
The City of Rome also is making one of the biggest commitments to road improvements this year in many, many years, and we have allocated millions of dollars for this particular aspect right here. And the wastewater treatment or the wastewater disposal has been, I mean, it's in our radar.
Does that include sidewalks though, in our community?
Sidewalks, we do as we possibly can. We've added sidewalks in a lot of areas that are needed. We do those a lot through grants that are allocated for specific areas like that right there, so we're always in search of that.
Let me say before we get to the vote, that we are not only concerned with growth, but we want to make sure that all of our citizens are safe. I would hate to know that my grandchild somewhere was not safe, or I was somewhere not safe. So please don't think that we're not thinking about safety as well, because it's very important to all of us that all of our citizens, north, south, east, and west, and anything in between, that you are safe and as safe as you could possibly be. Okay, with that, Mr. Clerk, I'm going to call. Will you call?
Vote. Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Bojo?
Yes.
Beeman?
Yes.
Doss?
Yes.
Quick?
Yes.
Askew?
Yes.
Collins?
Yes.
McDaniel?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Hold on. We're going to try to fix.
Okay.
Okay. So
By all
we'll
means.
hold on for just a minute. And if you all would like to be excused, I see you, yeah. Thank you for being here, and we appreciate your concern for Rome, but thank you all.
Shoot.
It's this cable right here.
And you all, we apologize for the technology, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. What is it connecting in here?
I think we could. But the only problem is a lot of people don't slow down, especially the people that use them all the time. Just speed.
Good. Yes.
I think you've got to.
Absolutely.
It's not connecting to the display up there.
So is it on Joe's end, the feed over there that's not picking it up, not so much the laptop's not outpulsing it?
Well, it probably would be. This is a newer laptop, and it connects via this cable here. There's a VGA. Trying to make sure that this is properly put in here, and it gets into that, goes down here.
This is all on, right?
Yeah, because that's, I mean, and it's plugged in over there, so it's never been a, so as long as the laptop.
If it's an unsafe condition, we definitely.
Hey, Joe, can you go back to this input?
Yeah, I'm looking at it here.
So you're not seeing it over there still?
This isn't detecting any display, so it's just got this one.
Oh no, Andy trying to buy it back from the city. What are we gonna put that?
Underneath.
Yeah, he want to buy it back.
Octavius, you're supposed to come out and say cut the blue wire. Yeah, so that's what we're not doing. Make sure you check all these cameras. Well, but I'm just thinking if it could be a bad cable too. I wouldn't. These pins are good though. Pins are good.
The pins are having difficulty connecting, and even when I try and screw them in,
We don't have an extra VGA cable anywhere to go.
we do have some down in the office itself.
I mean, we can make it without it. We can just have Joe pull it.
I would.
I got you, sir.
I would recommend for this, just in future meetings, that we test this out as soon as you bring the laptop up. Make sure that that's good to go, and we could possibly swap out cables, see what the issue might be before the meeting actually starts.
The hookup on that one, is that?
Yes.
We're always on battery. We hope these meetings don't go long.
None of these outlets even work?
I've never worked for me.
Okay, well maybe that's what's going on.
Oh.
I didn't realize because yeah, this.
Is this? That's a light.
Yeah. But
this whole podium setup doesn't have power.
So yeah, he said every meeting he's never had a charge. They've relied on battery power for every meeting.
Yeah, it's not even. Yeah, it's a. So there might be a bit more.
I'm going to call the meeting back to order, please.
I'm gonna make a notation of that. This podium.
Thank you all for bearing with us.
So this connection here, this wireless connection, has that ever worked for you?
Yeah, up until about 2 or 3 months ago.
2 or 3 months
about
ago.
2 months ago. Or no, actually, it was last month.
Yeah, because I think I remember setting this up for you.
Yeah.
I know.
Are they doing one back there?
Okay. Hey, we're not going to be able to see for tonight, Bryce. You can come on and go on with the next item, please. They can look at it some other time.
I'll note that for next week.
All right.
Thank you. Bryce, if you would go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Start with the next item, please.
The next item is Z22-04-01. This is a request to rezone from heavy industrial to light industrial for the portion of the property shown on the provided plat located at 0 Division Street, Floyd County Tax Parcel I13Z031, applicant owner Mark Brewster / Fairbanks Company. The request is to subdivide the existing parcel. If you look there in the upper right-hand corner, there is 2 buildings located there. The site to be subdivided would be 3.4 acres. It's extremely rare to find a heavy industrial site that can, operate on 3 acres. As a matter of fact, the ULDC requires 5 acres minimum for a heavy industrial site. I believe this is part of a real estate transaction, if I'm not mistaken. This does come with a recommendation of approval from staff. The downzoning would actually likely benefit the development across the street, which still includes a single-family home. As I said, staff recommends approval. This does come with a recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission as well. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'll now declare this public hearing open. Do we have anyone to speak in favor of? Okay. Do we have anyone to speak in opposition of? Okay, sir, if you go to the podium, you have up to 10 minutes. If you will give us your name and address, please.
Mark Brewster, 2400 Garden Lakes Boulevard, and I'll take 10 seconds. If anybody has any questions about it, we'll be willing to answer any questions, but we're just wanted to be able to outparcel that. Had to change it because they required 5 acres for heavy, so we're going to light and about 3.5 acres.
Thank you. There is no one here to speak in opposition of, so I'll declare this public hearing closed. Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Okay, discussion. Do I have anyone on my right? Any questions or comments? Any commissioners on my left?
Yes, ma'am, I do have, Mr. Brewster, do you have plans for that now, or just?
No firm plan.
I'm sorry?
No firm plan, no.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, Mr. Clark is moved, ready for the vote.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Bojo?
Yes.
Beeman?
Yes.
Doss?
Yes.
Quick?
Yes.
Askew?
Yes.
Collins?
Yes.
McDaniel?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That motion is passed. Okay, Bryce, go on.
The next request is file Z22-04-06. This request rezoning from community commercial to light industrial for the property at 145 John Davenport. Floyd County tax parcels I-13Z094A, I-13Z094, I-13Z093. Applicant owner Charles Harden / Crew Investments. The request is to rezone to allow for a storage unit development. It is 3 parcels. There's an industrial zoning all up and down John Davenport. There is a significant amount of floodplain on the property, as well as a stream that runs through it and some wetlands. Staff put a recommendation on here that I believe has already been addressed, but I'll tell you what it is. One of them is that they use the existing entrance there for the building with the white roof because there is a curve in the road right there. The other that I believe has been addressed is that any and all proposed development to include grading and soil displacement will occur outside the limits of the floodplain as currently mapped. I believe they've already drawn some new property lines to address this. I'll let Chuck speak to that. But this does come with a recommendation of approval with limitations and a 6-to-1 approval from the Planning Commission.
Okay, thank you. I will declare the public hearing open. Do we have anyone here to speak in favor of? Do we have anyone here to speak in opposition of? Okay, sir, you have 10 minutes to go to your podium and give us your name and your address, please.
Good evening. My name is Chuck Harden. I work for Southern Engineering and Surveying, 163 Rivers Drive, Suite 1400. We are the engineers, and we also represent the owner here. The owner's actually here tonight if you have any questions. The staff report pretty much explained it. There's the proposal here for this property, which currently houses the Mathis Builder Supply. The remainder of that property is what we're proposing for mini storage units. As Bryce had mentioned, the property has some constraints with floodplain, as well as some unsuitable soil conditions because it was at some point in time in the past a inert landfill. So we feel like this is the best use for this property for lightweight construction there. The area is surrounded by industrially zoned property or heavy commercial zone property anyway. So we feel like that's a good fit. We are planning on using the existing entrance anyway, so that's not an issue for us. And that's about it. If we have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you. There is no one here to speak in opposition of, so I'll declare this public hearing closed. And I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Discussion.
Just wanted to thank the developer and plus thank Mr. Mathis and them for that smart growth and mitigating that floodplain is very smart and really good. We greatly appreciate it, us guys over here in Summer Park. And we also greatly appreciate the development that's already taken place on that piece of land. It's something that's been long due. I remember growing up playing in that landfill as a boy, grew up in that area, covered up my old swimming hole, and but I really like what's going on. Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Anyone else on my right? Okay, anyone on my left? Okay, no. Call for vote. Mr. Clerk, if you will.
Commissioner Cochran,
Yes.
Bojo,
Yes.
Beeman,
Yes.
Doss,
Yes.
Quick,
Yes.
Askew,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
McDaniel.
Yes.
Motion is passed. Thank you. Okay.
All right, our last item for you tonight is file Z22-04-08. It requests rezoning from office institutional to heavy industrial for the property located at 0 Division Street and 100 Marble Way, Floyd County tax parcels I-13X016, I-13X015, and I-13X017, as shown on the provided plat. Applicant owner, Rome Floyd Development Authority Investments, Inc. The property is outlined in red there. It is approximately 132 acres. As I said, the request is to rezone to heavy industrial. There already is heavy industrial to the adjacent west, a couple industries, VTI and I believe Lewis Chemical. Staff did recommend approval with a couple of conditions. Staff recommends approval on the condition that the applicant owner create a barrier to reroute commercial truck traffic north towards the bypass, which is intended for such trips, and thus avoiding Charlton Street and other inner city streets. One of the reasons for that, I actually worked in college for a logistics company. I rode a forklift for 4 years after class, and I can tell you I've never met a trucker who didn't drive by GPS. They go everywhere by GPS. So I stood there at the intersection, the gateway into the property, and I just put in a couple addresses, and the GPS wanted me on at least 2 occasions to go through Somerville Park. So that was my concern for that. The Planning Commission recommended approval 7-0.
Okay, thank you. This time, I will declare the public hearing open. Do I have anyone here to speak in favor of? Do I have anyone here to speak in opposition of? Okay, each side will have up to 10 minutes. And if you would, go to the podium, give us your name and your address.
Good evening. My name is Missy Kendrick. I'm with the Rome Floyd County Development Authority, and there is no Investments, Inc. behind that. It's just the Rome Floyd County Development Authority, 800 Broad Street. And we are here tonight, as you know, to request rezoning of the Northwest Georgia Hospital property from office institutional to heavy industrial to accommodate the development of a Class A industrial park on the 132 plus or minus acres there. We started looking for additional property for economic development back in 2019. We established a real estate committee with the Development Authority and started evaluating different sites, and this site repeatedly kept coming up. And with the help of the city and the county, we were able to negotiate with the state and the governor's office for the purchase of this property using economic development SPLOST funds. So there has been some recommendations or requests that this property be used for residential. We are not able to use our economic development SPLOST funds for residential development. We did look at the possibility of could we possibly offer the homes that were there on the site for sale or to give them away in case someone might want to come in and possibly move the homes that were on the front of the property or on the side of the property. And we brought in a home builder, and he said that it was just not possible, that the bricks would have to be removed from the outside of the homes and the tops would have to be taken off, and some of them would have to be cut in half even to move them. So you just basically be moving a framing package if somebody were willing or wanted to come and take the homes off the site. So we are in the process of trying to get a planning grant to do a master plan and conceptual on the site that will provide. I know that there's some concern about Charlton Street. We have met with the Somerville community. I think it's the president of Penny. I'm not sure if it's the president of the Homeowners Association. Is that what your title is? Close enough to that? So we have met with them and talked to them about several concerns that they had. And of course, one of them was that that Charlton Street in the Somerville community is used as a pass-through road. That's not what our intent is. Our intent is to direct traffic out onto Redmond Road. We do have an easement with the state of Georgia that requires that we keep Charlton Street open because Charlton Street is the access road to Marable Way, which is the way the Department of Corrections and the Department of Juvenile Justice gets back to their facilities when you enter Charleston on the left-hand side. So the state does have an easement on Charlton Street in order to allow that traffic to get in and out. But we do have, in the process, actually after we purchased the property, we found out that we do have a curb cut on Redmond Road. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to design so that the truck traffic, that's where they want to go. They want to go out Redmond Road and get over to the highway so that they can get on the road. And that's what we're going to try to do, is work with them to direct that traffic along with the industries that are currently looking at some property in the site now. So we're just asking for your support in the rezoning of this property tonight, and be glad to answer any questions at the end of our time. Thank you.
I'm Jimmy Byers, 19 Rockridge Road, Rome, Georgia. I'm the chair of the Rome-Floyd Development Authority. This has been a long venture with the hospital closing, and I don't need to bring that up to everyone, what happened and what transpired with the jobs that are lost. It's a rare opportunity in which the city, the county, the development authority, and really the state came together to try to make the best use for this property and get it back to creating jobs that we lost. And so I'm just here to support this effort to rezone it.
Good evening, Mayor Stevenson and Commissioners. I'm Allison Waters, 1225 Mount Alto Road. I'm actually here speaking on behalf of the Floyd County Commission. As Jimmy said, this has been a long time coming, and I just appreciate the fact that we are partners in so many ways, and this is just one more partnership that's going to benefit all of the citizens of Rome and Floyd County, and this development is an exciting opportunity for our community. So I appreciate your support, and I appreciate our partnerships.
Hello, I'm Doc Kibler, 35 Rome Road, Cave Spring, Georgia. I'm here in support of this project, going all the way back to, gosh, I was chamber chair, as some of you also were, and I've known and met a lot of you as a result of the chamber. Part of the responsibility in that is to have the ear of business and to have an idea of the direction that the businesses in the local area want you to go. In the SPLOST that was, what was that, 2013? Is that the previous SPLOST, I think? And in that one, we were provided, thanks to the vote from the general population, a considerable amount of money to go towards the development of economic development. Again in 2000, and I actually, as chamber chair, made that presentation. In 2017, we went again to the public, and as I recall, the vote difference in positive affirmation that this is a direction they wanted to go, the 2017 SPLOST was one of the most popular SPLOSTs we've ever had. So finally, I'll add that during the meeting, we met our delegation, went down to the governor's office at the Capitol. During the presentation, which was really fast, you got to kind of rock and roll when you go down there, the governor said, so let me understand this. The reason you want the state to sell you this property is for economic development. Is that correct? And wholeheartedly, we agreed with him. That is the only reason we were asking the state to partner with us and sell us this property. So over the course of these SPLOSTs and what we have accomplished, we've gotten the backing of the business community, we've gotten the backing of the population as they voted for these SPLOSTs, and with the permission of the governor to sell us the property for economic development, I feel like we should move forward with the rezoning of this. Thank you.
Chris Smith, I'm an employee of VT Industries and a resident of West Rome.
So VT Industries is located just west of this property. It's adjacent. We're landlocked. We've expanded. We're just in the finishing changes of a $12 million expansion for the building, about $31 million total. We see future needs for our business to expand, and we would love to expand here in Rome, and the closer to our facility is even better for us. So just like to support this recommendation. Thank you.
There's an opposition. You go to the podium, give us your name and address, and you also have up to 10 minutes.
Thank you so much. My name is Penny Evans Plants. I live at 511 Charlton Street in Somerville Park, and am currently the Somerville Park Neighborhood Association president, whatever loosely that means. As you can see, we have many representatives here tonight on both sides of the aisle from Somerville Park. We all care greatly about our community, and most especially about our quality of life. Mr. Embry, one of our neighbors who can't be here this evening, specifically asked me to ask you to consider if you would vote for this zoning request if it adjoined your neighborhood. It was a blow to our entire community to lose the hospital and then to watch the property sit empty for so many years. We were thrilled to learn that the state had sold the property back to Rome and Floyd County. And we strongly support economic development within Rome and Floyd County. We need to replace those jobs. We need to have new jobs. But we also greatly value the quality of life for the residents of our neighborhood and the city overall. As a community, we worry about noise, air, water, and light pollution negatively impacting our day-to-day lives. We believe the city can maintain or even improve the quality of life for residents while also providing additional high-paying quality jobs without zoning the site as heavy industrial. There are other sites in Rome and Floyd County that would make more sense to use for heavy industrial businesses, such as along Technology Parkway or the new site on Highway 411. It's our understanding that the city paid for a redevelopment plan and recommendations for site usage at this particular location a few years ago, and all the recommendations were for mixed use. The 4 types of plans included an innovation center, a film campus, a health district, and a technology district. Notably, all 4 of those plans also included park space. Our suggestion would be to allow the 2 companies who would like to expand their existing businesses, such as VTI and Lewis Chemical, to do so and to remain for that property to become heavy industrial to accommodate that. But to focus the use on the remainder of the property on housing, retail service, medical office, advanced technology, and green space, including a park. Since I'm sure the city paid a considerable amount for this study, our hope is that you will use their recommendations for the development of the property. We are grateful that the city plans to add a stop sign at Raymond and Charlton, but we need many more stop signs in the neighborhood to slow traffic and keep our families safe. We are so fortunate to have Talbot Park that is heavily used at all times of the year, with many families and children walking, running, and biking to and from the park and surrounding areas. However, vehicles can enter Charlton at Division Street and have nothing to slow their progress until the stop sign at Charlton and Timothy. That's approximately 6/10 of a mile. And trust me, I live in that section of Charlton. Cars can get up to a very high rate of speed, even in the curves, and they can't stay in their lane at all. They're all over the road. Nothing to slow them down. We were also excited when Mr. Rich told us that the city has plans to add some additional sidewalks around the community to allow easier access to medical facilities and trails. We think that's wonderful, as it will improve quality of life for many residents in our community. Our small neighborhood suffered for months on end during the recent Atlanta Gaslight Pipeline project, primarily because this group did not have enough information to make a wise decision. I've heard that term used several times tonight. In fact, Mr. Doss used it in his prayer, that we need to be able to make wise decisions. It does not seem like a forward-thinking decision to abandon the expensive redevelopment plan at this stage when there are better options and other options for heavy industrial development. Thank you for listening to our concerns about zoning the former Northwest Georgia Regional Hospital property as heavy industrial. We ask that you zone the property as mixed use with only the back portions used for heavy industrial. At a minimum, we ask that the rezoned property maintain a professionally landscaped buffer between the heavy industrial zones and all adjacent residential neighborhoods, not just Somerville Park. It seems very reasonable to provide a green belt with a screen planting of trees and shrubs to minimize the impact of the heavy industrial area on neighboring property values and quality of life. So we've heard repeatedly tonight that we need smart growth and quality of life. And we think we can have both of those without sacrificing one over the other. Thank you for your time.
Do we have anyone else to speak in favor? In opposition of, yes, 5 minutes.
My name is Julian Weber. I live at 509 Charlton Street, and I'd like to speak in opposition of the rezoning. One of my concerns is the list of principal uses for heavy industrial, which would be adjacent to our neighborhood. Things such as solid waste transfer stations, chemical allied product manufacturing, industrial and commercial machinery manufacturing, petroleum-related industries. All of these are principal accepted uses based on the ULDC that I downloaded from the county's website, and I'm not certain that there is any way, once this gets zoned heavy industrial, that we can control these things that are already accepted. We don't know who's going to move in there. It isn't decided. There's no business owner that's requesting this at the moment, and so my concern is that if it is approved, then whoever purchases it has, whatever rights they wish to put any of these types of facilities in, and that's my primary concern. Thank you.
My name's Chris Reyes. I live at 202 Oakwood Street. I know most of y'all, well, at least as far as the neighborhood. I can tell you that you can address the trucks all you want. Putting a 24-hour industry across the street from that neighborhood, everybody that's going to come there and work is going to drive right through Charleston Street. You can throw all the stop signs you want, they don't stop. I live on Oakwood. I live right at the stop sign. I've got video of people running that stop sign up and down the street on a daily basis. And yet, I do understand that we can manage the trucks going out onto Redmond, but you can't manage how many people coming in and going at 3 shifts in all hours of the night, and we're going to sit there and live in that. This affects all of us. And I do understand growth. I am all for it. I grew up in Rome. I grew up on Burnett Ferry. I watched Burnett Ferry grow the way it did, and I watched people get hit of going up and down the road on a regular basis, until somebody finally put in sidewalks and built the infrastructure to make it livable. And in the same way, it's great for growth and it's great for planning to create the situation. But if we don't build the infrastructure first, all we're doing is creating another horrible situation.
Go fast. How much? 1 minute? Two. Jessica V on 621 Briarwood Circle. I've lived at that location now since 2008. I work from home. I am probably going to be the closest neighbor who has spoken so far. I am also not in favor of heavy industrial for the whole site. We would, again, I agree with allowing the existing neighbors to expand. However, I'm worried about the noise pollution from the rest of it or other smells, light, and would like to minimally see light industrial with no noise or the mixed use and a buffer, please. Thank you.
Hey, Carrie Nobles, 309 Timothy Avenue. I live in Somerville Park, but I'm also a teacher at West Central Elementary School. And I'm kind of speaking on behalf of my students and my families who live adjacent to this property, and a lot of those students who live in the low-income housing and the Section 8 housing, who live closer to this property than we do, but our neighbors in the same. And this is going to impact them greatly. The noise pollution, the air pollution, and that's going to make their quality of life decrease, and also going to decrease our school's quality of life. So, thank you.
There are 12 seconds.
One quick question or statement. I talked to a lawyer this morning. My name is David Pierre. I live in Somerville Park, and he's basically told me economic development does not necessarily mean heavy industrial or light industrial.
Thank you. Okay. I have 2 minutes for rebuttal if anyone would like to go back to the podium.
I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have about the redevelopment. As far as traffic is concerned, I think that our estimates, what we had planned on or asked Georgia Power to do an economic impact analysis for us, was for 500 jobs is what we're about planning to, or what we expect long-term on that site. And I believe that when the hospital was active, that they had about 1,000 folks working there at the time. So this ultimately would be less of an impact than what the hospital had when it was working fully staffed. So I do want to direct the traffic, the employee traffic, away from Charlton Street. So anything that we can do to help with that, I think the city has committed to helping us work through that situation. That's not our goal. We don't want to send folks that are working at that site through Charlton Street or down Charlton Street or through the Somerville community. So whatever we can do to facilitate that, we'll be glad to participate in.
Well, thank you. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed, and I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Okay, discussion will start with our commissioners on my right.
I would like to clarify some of the heavy industrial qualifications because we have a rich history here in this area of bringing industrial development in here that fits the community. And is there any way to get an answer as to some of the styles of industrial development we're looking at?
Yes, we are, and I'll share, I know I've said this numerous times, but manufacturing today is not what manufacturing used to be 50 years ago. As technology has progressed, so has manufacturing. And manufacturing today is lean, green, and clean. And we are targeting industries such as, and I shared this with the Somerville community as well, we are targeting industries such as Neaton and Suzuki. We are not going to be developing something on this site that is going to be something that we're ashamed of. We are proud of the existing industries that we have and the productivity that they have in our community. I'm not sure if you're aware, but we have 43 industries within the city limits of Rome now. And we have from 705 Division Street, there are 7 industries within 1 mile of 705 Division Street. And they work. They have their shifts, 24 hours a day, that kind of thing. So our existing manufacturers and what we're trying to recruit to this site here is the fabric of our community. It's the manufacturing that brings the additional wages, the improved wages, and the additional benefits. So to answer your question, it's advanced manufacturing, automation, those kinds of things. And we have many of those already in our community. The types of industries like plastics, metal fabrication, that would not be allowed in light industrial.
Thank you.
Missy, I have a question. The easement that you have for Charlton Road as far as trucks are concerned? Is that for the entire Charlton Road, or is that just for the
That's
property?
just our side. That's just on our side.
Okay, so we can put no through truck signs
And
on
that-
Charlton and limit their access to.
That's what I'd suggest we do, yes. I think there was a comment made that at some point there might used to be no through truck traffic signs there, but we want to definitely make sure those are put up again.
Just a minute, yeah, the public hearing is closed at this time, so it's just the commissioners asking the questions, please. Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
if I may. Of course, this is my neighborhood. I'm sitting here in this here catbird seat. I've been mayor of this city, and I sit with the chairman of the development as well as Missy Kendricks. And most of you commissioners had to report back to you. The economic development piece is very important to the city of Rome. As I sit here tonight and I listen to the Somerville Park residents, and I think about all the years I lived over there, and I want to share with Missy, and of course Doc know it, and Jimmy know it, and Craig know it, and most of you commissioners know it. Somerville Park is not just a community or a neighborhood that you might find anywhere. It's like a home place. You got some aspiring neighborhoods that people come here and they look at, but sometimes they choose Somerville Park because of the family atmosphere. I would say to you that it's like the only place in Rome you consider it being like Mayberry. It really is. Just about everybody over there know everybody. It is a place that sometimes you can leave your doors unlocked or open, etc. We don't have much crime. And when I was mayor, this same commission spent thousands of dollars to create a plan. And it had not anything to do with heavy industrial. And I say this for Mrs. Information, and to know my thinking back then and what this commission thinking was back then. It was also talk about the opportunity to save the homes that was on that property, to be able to utilize them. It was also talk about parks being developed inside of that development out there. It's 134 acres, I think I'm saying that right. And I know that we got some existing industry who would love very much to be a part of that out there. And I think possibly it's a way that could happen. But then I have to think about what this gentleman has put the hat on there telling me, that workers trying to get to work and running a little late, they don't care which way they get to that gate. They coming. It's a tough situation to be able to ask this commission to zone that property heavy industrial. And you're sitting there looking at something like a kindergarten right across the street from it. And basically, we would be vulnerable. I understand fact that that piece of land, what we went through to get it. I get it. I'm just don't want to put Summer Park in a position to be scapegoat for a monetary gain. The family values of Summer Park is way too valuable. The family atmosphere is something that didn't come overnight. The traditions over there wasn't born overnight. And the other piece about that is we have a plan that didn't look anything like the plan of heavy industry, Missy, Jimmy, and Doc. It just didn't. And I only can speak from my seat, but I think every one of the commissioners up here is very familiar with it. So for the sake of the fact that I don't plan on moving from that community, and knowing that some of my relatives might have kids, etc., I'm like probably, if I was Old East Rome or whether I was the Horse-Leg Estate, or whether I was any of the other those communities that value their home place, I won't be voting to impose that image on us. And you can call it the fact that Bill Collins lived there, or you can call it the fact that he have heard these residents. But one thing you can say is that Summer Park community we reside is no different what the Neighborhood Association president told you. We were told one thing before, and it didn't happen like what we thought it was going to happen. And quite frankly, I'm not willing to get back in that situation again. I would just ask Missy and the two commissions if you might want to go back and relook or rethink. And the reason I say, and I said it in caucus, I don't think Commissioner Waters or Jimmy or Doc heard me in caucus, but I want to tell you what I told staff. You bringing us a project and asking us to weigh in on and then to vote on, and it be a heavy industrial project. And we really is being voting on a project that don't have clarity. If you were saying to me that the only entryway and the only exitway was going to be on that Redmond Road, you quite possibly could have a different outcome. But here I am faced no different than when I was dealing with Atlanta Gas Line. With this is what we think we're going to be able to get done. That is not clarity, ladies and gentlemen. It's a unclear project that's before us. And I said to Bryce and I said to Artavis, in all of the examples that you have in your fold tonight that's coming before us for a vote, every one of them has clarity, except for this one. It's unclear. and I would not impose an unclear project on this community, not again. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Anyone else on the right?
When I came on the city commission in 2016, the only two commissioners were former Mayor Doss and former Mayor Collins. And there was a plan in place that the city and the county had contracted. I think we paid $50,000 for a plan. And it was basically to redevelop Northwest Georgia Regional Hospital. As I recall, it was mostly light industrial. We were trying to recruit light industrial out there. If that plan had been successful and it was shown, I mean, we showed the property to a number of people, but if that had been successful, then we would be already voting to rezone that. It would have been rezoned primarily light industrial. And these two commissioners would have had to vote for it because they supported it. Now, that plan was unsuccessful, and so we made a change, and we do industrial recruitment differently now. I've been involved in this community for 37 years in doing industrial recruitment. I worked at the Technical College. And there was a time that we had an opportunity to buy a lot of land in the county, and we didn't take advantage of it. We have no land at all in the city. One of the things that we realized when we gave industrial recruitment to the Rome, Floyd Development Authority is the only land that we had belonged to the county. The city had nothing. We had Technology Parkway that belongs to Berry College. So to give us an opportunity to take this land, and I have no doubt, I've known Jimmy Byers and Doc, and I know Missy now for a few years. I have no doubt that they will be good stewards of the property, and they're not going to bring in projects out there that will be detrimental. So much of our land is in conservation easements. We have more conservation easement property in Floyd County, Georgia, than in any county in America. And we've tied it up, and you go out, you try to find a piece of property, and it's tied up in conservation easements. So you can't use it for industrial growth. You can't put a plant there. So we have an opportunity to take this property here. Now, another part of my past is from 1980 until 1992, I worked as an EMT at Floyd Medical Center, and I drove ambulances. I cannot tell you how many ambulances I drove with lights and sirens into that property there. Over 1,000 employees. It was a 3-shift operation. You had trucks coming in, trucks coming out. You had ambulances coming in. You had people with all kinds of psychiatric problems on that property there. And when the federal government decided to pull the funding, or they basically made us in Central State close our hospitals, it put a huge burden on this community. I talked to Bonnie Moore this week, or last week. We will never solve some of the problems we have in this community until we solve the mental health problems. And we are so far behind the 8 ball right now. And that's a whole different conversation. But the level of activity on this property here going forward will be far less from a traffic standpoint. You cannot believe the traffic that went in out there. And there were emergency vehicles from all over Northwest Georgia going into that property there. This won't be like that. That industrial park or the industrial properties adjacent to it, there's not a great deal of traffic in and out there. We need to manage Charleston Street, and I think we can do signage there. I see this as a quality of life issue. We've got to bring jobs here. We've got to bring jobs back to this community. I've got full confidence in the Rome Floyd Development Authority, and I think this is the right thing for this community, and I'll support it. I'm through.
Thank you. Anybody else on my right? Okay, thank you. I'll come to the commissioners on my left. Go ahead, Commissioner Bocher.
I'm good.
Oh, you didn't have anything? Okay.
No, I'm good. I
Okay.
was saying no, I'm fine.
So I know that Somerville Park has a strong community, and they have a lot of support, but it kind of bothers me because they're not the only ones in that community. You have the Northwest Georgia Housing Authority, and there are residents that live over there also. And I know that I do trust that the Development Authority would do right by trying to bring the right people into but I support a mixed use. Because I know that we do need the jobs, and however, we still need other activities, and I go to other cities and I see a mixed use when they bring in developments, and I'm wondering now, why don't we have a mixed use? Why does everything that we bring in have to be strong or even heavy manufacturing or heavy, I just don't get it. And I'm sitting here now thinking about, we're building houses and we're telling that we want more young people to come back to Rome. But what are we bringing them back to? And who says everybody has to work in a manufacturing plant? There's so much more that we could do as a mixed use. I can understand. I like your philosophy. I like a mixed use. I like what you propose, and I like what they're proposing. But I'm just thinking, I don't understand why we lost focus on trying to develop a community or develop within a community jobs, housing, and at the same time growing our communities so we can make people want to move here. If we build the houses, I support the fact that without housing, and without people, there will be no housing. We could build housing and people may not want to come here. But we don't have any recreation. We talked about things that our kids need to do. We talked about things that our college students need to do. But all we're going to do now is just bring in a bunch of manufacturing. I don't feel like that's the right use. So I already know which direction I'm going in. That's the only thing that's on the floor.
Madam Mayor, if I may. So, one of the great things about having a CAD program is you can pull stuff off of Google Maps and manipulate it and find out data. I don't know if any of you remember back in 2014, Beckhart had a little scare. Do you remember that fire over at Beckhart where they pretty much had to rebuild everything? Does anybody remember how far out the radius was that the fire department had to evacuate everybody? 1 mile. 1 mile. So let me read you a list of things that are within a 1 mile radius of the property. I'm going to categorize them. Nursing and retirement homes, The Spires, Brookdale Rome, Seven Hills Place, Rome Health and Rehab, schools, West Central Elementary School, Elm Street Elementary School, Rebecca Blaylock Learning Center, Kids World Learning Center, Regional Youth Development Center, Medical, Advent Redmond Hospital in the whole campus, Harbin Clinic Pediatrics, main campus of Harbin Clinic, Harbin Clinic Cardiology, let's see, multiple small doctors' offices on John Maddox, Highland Rivers, and then it gets Berry. Within that 1 mile radius, Berry has the following college dorms: Morton Limley, Green, Dana, Thomas Berry, the townhomes, Morgan Deerfield. And then we have apartments: The Grove, Redmond Chase, the Village Green, Willingham Village, Willingham at Division. And then you get to parks. You have Talbert Parks, you have the GE Trails. In addition to all that, you have a list of residential streets. These are just the ones that run east to west. Addington Drive, Brookwood Avenue Northwest, Brookwood Court, Charlton, Delview, Dodd, Eberhard, Edgewood, Ethel, Excelsior, Fortune, Frost, Garrard, Graham, Heritage, Homestead, John Davenport, Johnson, Laurel, Lucille, Elm, Oakwood, Piedmont, Pintail, Robin, Sampson, Springdale, Texas, Turpin, West Laurel, Whiteway, Wigton, Woodbine, Yarborough. These are the ones that run north-south. Ashbury, Berry, Briarwood, Central, Clark, Curtin, Delwood, Getson, Lamar, Lavender, Lawton, May, Mississippi, North Division, Ohio, Old Airport Road, Paris, Raymond, Roy Rogers, Sheridan, Springdale, Sycamore, Sylvan, Timothy Towers, Vineland, Walter, Watson. And then the portions of these streets are on the south side of Shorter Avenue, or believe it or not, portions of them are within the 1 mile radius. Cherry, Fay, Hanks, Hughes, Leon, Paris, South Elm, Sycamore, Wallace, Williamson and Wingfield. So I went and I looked for some wind data. It's like, okay, well, if something goes there that releases something, how long does it take to go, on average, 1 mile? So believe it or not, you can look up average wind data. And so I looked up the average wind data for this month of April. 5 minutes and 13 seconds is how long it would take to go from the center of the current campus, 1 mile radius, based on 10 knots, with a frequency of 49% calm, which means 51% of the time it's not. I don't know how many people are in those streets and those areas and those hospitals that I just listed, but it seems to me to be a unwise choice to put a heavy industrial in. In addition to that, I hear what we're saying about manufacturing is more green and clean. So if anybody ever has a chance, there is something called a TPR, total amount of pollutants released. You can find a pretty good amount of detail based on that. I'm not going to read who this is, who the manufacturers are, but several of them come up in our area. And so I'm just going to start clicking on random ones here. Let's see. £13,902 of xylene, 7,528 pounds of ethyl benzene. That's just from one person, or one manufacturer, that was released into the air in 2015, which is the most up-to-date data this has. 629 pounds of methanol. Lead. £98 of lead, 2,899 pounds of hydrochloric acid, 10 pounds of copper, 95 pounds of zinc. You know, you tell me a toxic chemical, and I can probably find one. Here's somebody else with, you know. Anyways, my point is, yeah, manufacturing is absolutely headed in the right direction after much ado. And if done right, manufacturing absolutely has a place in almost every community, and manufacturers are fantastic partners with the community. For the most part, they provide great jobs. They provide fantastic opportunities to move up. They're important, they're necessary, and a community can't thrive without them. That being said, they still pollute. Even the most advanced manufacturers, by and large, still pollute. And so, if the commission feels comfortable rezoning something in the middle of the city that is within a 1 mile radius of all the things that I read earlier, with the knowledge that a lot of things go into the air that probably shouldn't, and these are just what's reported, and by all means, let's do it. On the other hand, if you think that the city should think of economic development differently, and it not just be heavy industrial, then I strongly suggest that we either deny it or table it until we can get more information. because the workforce of tomorrow does not want to live around things that look like this. And if we're really going after the workforce of tomorrow, we can't have this. It's just not. We just can't. So Somerville Park, yes, I hear you. You're important. We love you. But it's not just y'all. It's so many more people. It's so many more people. So I just didn't want the commission making a decision without knowing that information. So I'm going to be in there. Thank you.
Well, this is a very important decision, not only for our neighborhoods, but also for our development authority and supporting new jobs in our community. What concerns me right now is the city commission seems to be split, or we're definitely not all together with this decision. And this is just too important for us to be a 4 or 5 one way or the other. We need to be together with this decision. As a Rome City Commissioner, I always feel like it's important to protect our neighborhoods. That's one of our jewels in this city, are our neighborhoods. I lived in Somerville Park growing up, and everything Commissioner Collins said is true. You know, it's a very family-oriented, walkable neighborhood. But I also heard Commissioner Collins say if the entrance to the hospital property was in another location, he might be open to suggestion. And I think too, again, this is just too important for us to be split down the middle. But I also feel like it's too important just to say no, because it's got so much potential. And I think if Missy came to the commission and said, okay, these are the businesses that want to come, and we find out, well, they're not loud, there's no pollution, no heavy traffic, you know, I think we would feel a lot better. So I'm prepared to table this and give it more discussion.
I'll second.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr.
That's a motion to table Commissioner Quick's motion. That's been seconded. So
Yes.
that's all today.
That is. So, we take am I correct, a vote for the table?
Vote on the motion to table.
Okay.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Bojo?
Yes.
Beeman?
Yes.
Doss?
Yes.
Quick?
Yes.
Askew?
Yes.
Collins?
Yes.
McDaniel?
Okay, it's tabled. No further discussion. All right, thank you, motion's tabled.
Can I say something?
No, if I'm correct,
No, not about that. Just personal privilege.
okay, let us get to, let's go through this and then we'll come back because of the hour. Okay, we'll go on with the agenda and then come back. Because it was at the table there.
No, I was basically just wanting to thank the Somerville Park residents for coming.
Okay. All righty, we'll go on with the rest of the agenda. Mr. Clark?
No report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. City Manager?
No report, Madam Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Attorney?
No report, Madam Mayor.
Okay, I'd like to announce that the Joint Services Committee will meet Tuesday, May the 3rd, 8:30 a.m. in the Floyd County Administration Building, and that's all I have. Commissioner Cochran?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the Public Works Committee would like to bring before you tonight a bid from Northwest Georgia Paving for the approval of paving all of Riverside Parkway in East First Street. If you remember, sometime last year, we decided to allocate more money to paving infrastructure, and this is a direct result of that. And the low bid from Northwest Georgia Paving, bid forms looked complete. The anticipated start date would be June 14th of this year. And the total price is $1,555,540.02. $1,555,540.02. And they were the low bid above. Next lowest bidder was C.W. Matthews, and their total price was $2 million. $2,038. That's a hard one to say. $2,038,800. So here you go.
Does it come in form of a motion?
Comes in form of a motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? No discussion? Mr. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Cochran,
Yes.
Bojo,
Yes.
Beeman,
Yes.
Doss,
Yes.
Quick,
Yes.
Askew,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
McDaniel.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That
Anything?
concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Bojo.
Yes, ma'am. The redevelopment committee was scheduled to meet on Wednesday of this week, April 27th, but we have not received back our information on the TAD requests that we have turned in, and so we are going to postpone this meeting until we get that back from the company that is working that, all those numbers up for us. And Water and Sewer will meet Thursday, May 5th, 9 o'clock in the Sam King room. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Beaman?
The Historic Preservation Committee will have their annual training on Wednesday, April the 27th, from 8:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m., and full attendance counts as a 3-year training opportunity. Keep Rome Floyd County Beautiful has decided to postpone the May 7th cleanup due to the Mother's Day weekend, and the Library Board is in need of an appointee to fill the current vacancy. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Doss.
Thank you, Mayor Stevenson. Tourism Committee will meet Wednesday, April 27th. That's this Wednesday, April 27th at 11:45 a.m. at the Rome History Center. And I will mention that this past weekend, Rome hosted the ACC National Tennis Championships. I had the, good fortune of attending the men's final Sunday. I did miss church, but this is only once a year. But it came down to the final match, and it was very close. It was well attended, but there was room for more guests. And this is some really fantastic tennis, and it's good for the city bringing tennis teams. They came far and wide to Rome, so it was a great event, and that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Doss. Commissioner Quick.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a couple of meeting announcements. The Development Oversight Committee will meet Tuesday, May 3rd, 10 o'clock in the Sam King Room. And the Rome Floyd Planning Commission will meet Thursday, May 5th, 2:30 in the Sam King Room. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Quick. Commissioner Askew.
No report.
Thank you, sir. Now, Commissioner Collins.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just to mention that the General Administration will meet on tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. in the Carnegie Training Room. It'll be our first meeting of the year to conduct some very important business. The Community Development Committee did meet. We had a very good discussion. We had guests there, and hope it's gonna join our team. Tal Caps was there, brought some great information, as well as the Rome Housing Authority. Of course, our director, Ms. Fronston, and that staff does a fantastic job of keeping us up on the happenings in community development and housing. And that's all of my report. Thank you very much.
You can take your point of views right now. You wanted to address something?
I just wanted to thank them for their outstanding leadership in our community when it comes to neighborhoods. You guys are second to none, and you're greatly appreciated. I am overwhelmed to be a part of this three that represent West Rome that know that you guys are looking out for the best interests, and that's our future, dealing with our kids and the livelihood of having a great place to live, work, and play. Thank you so much, Summer Park.
Hey, Mayor.
Yes.
We all represent West Rome.
We all do.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner.
I don't have a report, but Mayor Pro Tem Cochran attended the Northwest Georgia Regional Commission meeting for me out of conflict. Mark, I don't know if there was anything.
The department director is retiring, Lloyd, and they are actively searching for a replacement. So that's pretty much sums it up. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you for everyone for attending tonight. We thank you for your concerns that you have for our city. And I just want you all to know that we all are working to make this the best place to live, work, and play. With that, we are adjourned.